Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is Medicine Walk. And for those of you who are listening in on Blog Talk Radio, this is Healing House Radio. And Luna's right here chilling out, and Sam is off taking a nap. And I'm kind of wired up, kind of fired up, because and this is going to, in some ways, be a rant, because I decided to do something that I haven't done in a long time, which is, just Google empathy and see. It's like, okay, what is the current greater world's viewpoint on empathy? What does the World Wide Webiverse, the internets, think about empathy? And honestly, I probably should have had a cup of tea first, or possibly a drink, because, oh Lord, I came across stuff that it is just okay. Let's start off with the fact that, yes, there are many ways that people view empathy, and I totally understand that my perception that empathy is not just about feelings. It's about the ability to interact with energetic fields. And emotion is a part of that energetic field. And it's one of the easiest things for people to resonate with in other people. So yes, that at the very surface level, that is like the beginning, where that is what you interact with. But it is not exclusive to emotions. It is not exclusive to feelings. And it certainly is not exclusive to just dealing with other human beings. So I understand that what I have experienced and what I share is simply a perspective. It is a way. It is not the way. And as far as I'm concerned, there is no the way for everyone. Everybody needs to find their own path. That said, I came across, it was just interesting that everything about empathy was either talking about how horrible it is, and, research papers entitled "Empathy is Hard." And it's like, okay, keep an open mind, come on, Eileen, keep an open mind. And I came across sites that talked about certifying empaths and licensing. First off, there is no licensing, because there has to be a governing board, and there's a lot involved in being licensed. And certifying empaths do not need to be certified. You're an empath, and you are. So therefore, having a piece of paper, if you would like to create a piece of paper, great, you can. And this is not about the intention of the people who want to be certified, who want to be able to utilize it to help people. Blessings to each and every one of you. This is not about the empath. This is about something that I see that is just, I feel, is wrong, especially when, you're taking money from people to teach them how to be an empath. You're already an empath. You've got this. Maybe, some guidance in how to manage your empathy and be able to focus it in a way that works for you. Okay, great. But you don't need anybody to turn you into an empath. You are already one. The 10 signs you're an empath, 15, 17 signs you're an empath. Again, you're empathic. You pick up things, you resonate. You're there. Got it. Associations, empathic associations. And I found it interesting because, on one of the sites I went, and there was, links, important links for empaths. And going through the links, one was, it was for an economic mobility program. and the economic mobility pathway or something, and it said empath. It's like, oh wow, you guys didn't even read the links that you put on. It is so frustrating to me that information is just kind of out there. And rule number one, not everything on the internet is true. Not everything. Check everything. Check your sources, especially before you give anybody money. The whole idea of supporting empaths, 100%, absolutely, I'm on board, and that's why I'm doing this. And that's also why I'm doing this on YouTube and just giving it. If you would like to subscribe, awesome, and support the channel, or if you'd like to become a patron of the channel, that's one thing. But I wanted this information out there so people could have it. And the idea that each person, each empath, is complete unto themselves. And I also, was looking, and, it's like everything was about being overly sensitive and overly emotional. And the whole lean of some of these articles was focused on, the idea of, it's like, well, you're an empath, and here's all the horrible things that you're going to go through, and all the reasons why, you're sad, or all the reasons why you're troubled. And, and some of them even to the point, it's like, well, this is just you. This is just how you have to be. And, that is like, well, some jobs, one article talked about, it's like, well, some jobs you just can't have. No. An empath is just as capable of doing anything, anytime, anywhere as anybody else. Yes, they have a certain sensitivity, but it's not about, an emotional or negative type of, it's like, oh, you're too sensitive. It is, you have an awareness of certain things and certain energies that most other people do not. It's not that, you're just a victim walking around, waiting to be emotionally battered and you don't have a choice. No, you do have choice. You absolutely have choice. And I know for a fact that every empath has choice because I decided to choose. I went through that phase of, being what some of these articles say, just vulnerable and overly sensitive. And, it's not a gift, it's a burden, and all of this other stuff. And I found a way through it to the point where it's like, you know what? Empathy is a part of me. It's not all of me. It is a tool that I can use when I need to use it. There is no job that an empath can't have. They just have to learn how to dial it down or turn it off in that work situation. There is no one that an empath cannot work with any less than anybody else. You set boundaries. You decide, okay, if this person is overly emotional, I will address it with them and say, you know what? This is an office environment. Please keep your discussions, on an office level. Or if it's a situation where, somebody is being bullied, nobody deserves to be bullied. Nobody should be bullied. And whether you're empathic or not. And being empathic doesn't mean that you get to have a bullseye drawn on you. So we can deal with it. We're tough. We're tougher than most. And we don't have to be, the target of anybody's energy. Not if we don't choose to be. And we can draw a boundary as good as anybody else. And as far as, well, you're just a sponge, some of the articles talked about, it's like, well, they're just a sponge who absorbs everything. No, We perceive. We don't have to absorb unless we want to, unless we choose to. And for those who are still working on being able to manage it and find balance with that, you can. You really can. It doesn't have to be this, oh, well, this is how you were born and you're stuck. No. Being an empath is awesome. Being an empath is kind of like, kind of like being a superhero. And I love it. And I also understand that I need to be able to manage it so that I can walk in this world in a way that is comfortable for me, where I'm interacting with the world in a way that is productive and is helpful for others. It's not a curse. It's not a burden. It is a part of you. It is a part of me. It's a part of all of us. And everybody has some level of it. And, there's some sites kind of put it in a hierarchy, and it's like, well, you're an, maybe you're an animal empath, or you're an intuitive empath, or you're a law enforcement empath, which supposedly that's an empath who helps people solve crimes, because they can deduce things. Maybe you're like a precognitive empath, where you can perceive things before they happen based on somebody's energy, whatever. I mean, and I went through the list. It's like at any given time, I can be any one of these things. And so can you. Yeah. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't let yourself be put in a box. You don't have to be any type. Being empath, that's it. You're an empath. Depending on what's radiating energy around you, maybe, it's nature, or maybe it's a cat or a dog, or maybe it's another person, or maybe it's a stone or your car. Apparently there are mechanical empaths who connect with, machines and stuff like that. It depends on what the situation is. But you're an empath. You don't need anyone, including me, to tell you that, in this case, I will. It's like, you're an empath, that covers it. You don't need to seek anybody else's authority to be who you are, or to be what you are. So, and I may take some flack for this, and like I said, this isn't about the people who want to go out and, let's say they want to do something and, work with people, and, I mean, paper makes the world go round, and if you've got something that says certification or certified, but do your homework, especially before you pay any money. Exactly what are you getting? What is, if you are being certified by a particular body to do something, that means, that paper only means something to people associated with that. It is not something that, if you're going to go to, a wellness center and, okay, I want to work for your wellness center and I'm a certified empath, and they're going to go, what? So, please, 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 please do not fall into things that, I mean, some of these things read off like straight up scams. And, if somebody is asking you for money for something that is basically intangible to anybody but their association, think it out, think it over. Your choice. You're free to do whatever you want. I just want you to not be taken advantage of, and to understand you don't need anybody else to tell you what it means to be an empath, because your experience as an empath is unique. Nobody can tell you, I can't tell you about your experience as an empath. I can share about my experiences as an empath and ways to manage it. But you don't need anybody to make you that, because that's what you were born as. You're already there. You've already arrived. You've already graduated. Congratulations, you're an empath. Yeah, and managing, there's so many different ways because each person's empathic experience is unique. You need to be able to explore what that means to you. So to have somebody else teach you manage, even management skills, even the stuff that I share, I will say that these are things, one, that have worked for me, and two, that will work in general with the people who I've worked with. I am happy to connect with you and to say, it's like, okay, well, you want to tell me your particular experience and I can help you with it as much as I can. I will do my best to give you tools to manage it, but those tools are going to be definitely dependent on what it is your experience. So, so just be aware. And I'm not saying that these are necessarily bad people, and some of them may actually mean good. Some of them, like I said, look like just straight up scams. And it's okay to explore, and I really encourage everybody, Google what is an empath and see the different things that you find. But you'll see a lot of similarities, a lot of sort of victimhood in it. And there's also, because there were some, sources that, had, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. That's neat. That's interesting. Ultimately, you'll have to figure it out for yourself. And you have every right to just figure something out for yourself and to experience. The best way that we learn is by observing different samples of what it is that we're studying, different perceptions of it. And out of all of those sites, I did not see one that spoke about empathy on an energetic level, that it's not just about emotions. They were all focused on emotions. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good place to start. So, oh, somebody got up from her nap. So, do what you can to inform yourself, because it is important to have a different perspective on empathy and all the different ways that people look at it. Like I said, you might want to have a cup of tea or maybe a drink beforehand, but do not, take things seriously. Honestly, I found it, some of the things very frustrating, but really it's not worth investing the energy into to, get all upset about it, because I'm really not. And, you know, to thine own self be true, as Shakespeare said. Know yourself, know your empathy. And if you find a site or something that really resonates with you, great, pursue it. Just make sure that you have all the information before you start sending money into anybody. And check out groups that, if you get approached by a group and or whatever, just check them out and use your due diligence, use your empathy. Say, okay, does this resonate with me? So, rant over. Go out and enjoy your time and enjoy your day and enjoy the internet, because there's some amazing cool stuff on it. Just be very careful about what you buy into. As I always say, I was born on a Wednesday, but it sure as heck wasn't last Wednesday. So, and that applies to everything. Don't fall into, there's a lot of things, the virus cures and all kinds of stuff like that. And we're not going to open up that bag of badgers, but just research everything. Take a look. Take nothing at face value. Do your research, do your homework, and find out if it really is worth your trust, because your trust is very valuable, whether you're empathic or not. So, anyway, enough of that. Take care, And thank you for joining me. And if you like this video, let me know, and please click like on it. And if you have a comment, a question, or a concern about any of this, then please contact me through the comments. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can check me on the Facebook group Medicine Walk with Dr. Eileen, and my email address is in the description. So if you have a question or a comment regarding any of this or anything related to empathy, please let me know. I will be happy to help, but I don't do certifications. So if you'd like to support this channel on a higher level, then, by your choice, you can become a sponsor on Patreon, and the link for that is in the description. So, again, thank you for joining me in this rant of mine. And, as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you, and see you next time. Bye.